Creatine supplementation has been linked to increases in muscle mass, decreases in body fat, and increases in brain function. Plus, it's one of the most studied nutritional supplements on the planet. Find out how to get all these benefits and more next. Hi everyone, Floyd Meyer here with Catalyst Impacts, and today we're going to be talking all about creatine and all of the amazing things that it can do for you. So creatine is an extremely simple molecule. It's actually made of 3 different amino acids. So these amino acids are going to be glycine, arginine, and methionine. And your body is going to naturally produce creatine, and it is extremely important in our bodies. So why is it so important and why am I so excited about it? It's because creatine is used to create energy. Now, some of you may remember from biology class or biochemistry where ATP is the energy currency of the cell. So your mitochondria is going to be producing this ATP, and your body is going to use this ATP for all of the amazing things that it does. So anytime you're walking, thinking up a new idea, being creative, talking, all of the bodily functions that we do day to day are done through ATP. But when you use ATP, what you do is you end up breaking one of those phosphate molecules off of it, and then that's what creates the energy. So when you're left with is what's called ADP, or it has 2 phosphates on it, which is going to be a less energetic molecule. And when you run out of ATP, you run out of energy and you can't do anything anymore. And that's where creatine comes in. So creatine is stored in our skeletal muscles, so things like your bicep, your quads, all of the muscles that move our bodies. And when you use up this ATP, then you can use creatine to rebuild it. So it's a really simple equation. CRP is creatine phosphate, and that is how creatine is stored in our bodies. That's how it's stored in our skeletal muscle. So a phosphate is added to it when it goes inside of our muscles. And you simply just take the phosphate off of the creatine, you add it to that ADP that we've already used because we've already used some of the ATP, and it generates more ATP. And so now we have more energy so that we can do all of the amazing things that we can do. So as you can see, this is more than just a simple vitamin. This is something that is intimately needed in our bodies in order to perform all of the functions that we do. Breathing, eating, walking, thinking, creating, all of these things need ATP, and creatine can help to facilitate having more of this ATP available by storing it in this other form, because we can only store up so much ATP in our cells before it gets too concentrated. So if you can have another form of energy readily available that will replenish those ATP stores as we use them, then you can have more energy to do all of the amazing things that you end up doing. And what's really amazing is that this is one of the most studied nutritional supplements on the planet. It has been put through every test in almost every type of population. It's been tested in the elderly, in pregnant people, in children, in healthy adults, men, women, the whole gambit, and which is not something that most supplements can end up saying. We're living in a world where we are constantly being bombarded by the newest supplement that's coming out and the newest thing that's coming out. So it's really awesome to find and know about something that has been put through all of the rigorous studies, tested in all of these different populations, and it's been proven to be safe and effective in pretty much all of them. And the Journal of the International Institute of Sports Nutrition, they created a summary article last year, and it outlined all of the safety and the efficacy of using creatine supplementation, and it was pretty amazing what they said. So I'm just going to read to you what it is that they actually said. So they said, in addition to the athletic and exercise improvements, research has shown that creatine supplementation can enhance post-exercise recovery, injury prevention, thermoregulation, rehabilitation, and concussion or spinal cord neuroprotection. And additionally, it's been tested in neurodegenerative diseases like muscular dystrophy, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, diabetes, osteoarthritis, fibromyalgia, aging, brain and heart ischemia, adolescent depression, and pregnancy. And these studies show that there is a large body of evidence showing that creatine can not only improve your exercise performance, but it can also play a role in preventing and or reducing the severity of injury. It can enhance your rehabilitation from injury, and it can help athletes tolerate heavy training loads. So that is some pretty amazing stuff, and this is from a very reputable international journal dealing with specifically with sports. But as you can see, they've tested this supplement in all kinds of different populations, and it's been shown to be helpful for so many different things, which if you understand what it's doing, which is creating more energy, it makes sense why it would be helpful for so many different things. If you have less energy, your body is less able to do all of the things that it needs to do in order to repair itself, in order to perform at a high level, and all of the other things that we end up doing. So if you can have more energy from a very simple supplement, then that's a pretty amazing thing that you can do. And so who really should be taking creatine? Well, pretty much everyone. Honestly, it's been tested in all of these different populations, and it's been proven to be safe and effective in many different, like I said, from the kids all the way to the elderly. I mean, this has even been tested in pregnant women, which is insane. I mean, most things don't end up getting tested in those populations because there's a possibility of side effects, or you don't want to affect the growing fetus, but it's even been proven to be safe in those populations. So pretty much everyone can take it. The only people that really shouldn't be taking creatine are if you have a pretty severe kidney disease, because your kidneys do need to process the creatine. You end up peeing it out. And so if you are increasing the amount of work that your kidneys need to do, that can be a problem. Or if you have some other very specific condition, it would be recommended that you talk with your provider before you end up starting this. But if you are a healthy person, you don't have very many problems, you don't have any type of kidney disease or anything like that, again, this has been proven to be very safe and effective in very many different populations. And so then that brings us to how much creatine should you be taking? So normal recommendations for the dosage of creatine is about 5 grams per day. And that ends up being a very small, usually they end up giving you a little scooper when you buy creatine products online, so it ends up being a very small amount of it. And you can mix it into any type of smoothie that you're eating, or I put it in coffee sometimes. You can put it in a lot of different things. But there is one caveat, and that is when you start taking creatine, and you've never taken it before, or if you've been on a long break like I was recently where I didn't take it for many months, then you want to go through what's called a loading phase. And during this loading phase, you're going to be taking somewhere between 10, 15, 20 grams of creatine each day. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to increase the amount of creatine that's stored up in your skeletal muscles and throughout your body. And so then you will have those stores to draw up on when you're doing things like high intensity exercise. So creatine is specifically important when you are doing very high intensity, quick exercises, quick movements. This system, you can only store up so much creatine in your cells. So this isn't what is going to be running your body if you are, running multiple miles or, lifting for multiple reps, like 20 reps. But it is very effective, and it's really used when you are doing more high intensity, short duration exercise. So think like, the first 15, 20 seconds, that's really when you're going to be using this creatine in your muscles to regenerate this ATP for those quick bursts of energy. And so you need to store up that ATP, and that's why you need to go through this loading phase. And you really only need to do that for a couple days. Somewhere between 3 to 5 days would probably be adequate to get enough of the creatine stored up into your muscle cells. And speaking of that, it's really important that when you do start taking creatine that you make sure you stay very well hydrated. So if you are going to be adding something into your muscle cells, your body wants to dilute that, so it takes water and it puts it into the cells as well. So that's one of the reasons why it can increase lean body muscle mass, because you're putting the creatine in there, it's putting water, it can make you look more muscular, even if you're not necessarily, building brand new muscle fibers. So it's very important that you stay very well hydrated while you're using creatine, because it can take some of the water that would otherwise be doing other functions in your body and just putting it into your skeletal muscle where it's just going to be sitting there. But as you can see, this can be a very, very helpful supplement. It's very tried and true. It's one of the most tested supplements on the planet. They've tested it in tons of different people, and it's intimately involved with creating more energy, which I don't know about you, but I know I want more energy to be able to do all the things that I want to do on a day-to-day basis. I want more mental clarity. I want to be able to exercise harder. I want to be able to recover faster. All of those things are things that I look for, and I think that you do too. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions about creatine or any other supplements, feel free, leave your comments down below. And for other tips so that you can enhance your health, your energy, and your impact, make sure to pick up a copy of my best-selling book. You can get it on Amazon. It's $9.99 or $9.97 right now. So make sure you pick up a copy now. And one more word is that when you are buying creatine, make sure that you are looking up a very reputable company when you're buying it. So the company that I was using isn't selling creatine anymore, which I'm not really sure why, but they're no longer producing it. So then I had to go out and I had to find another company. And it really did take a lot of research, and I did look up a lot of different companies. I looked at all of their reviews, and I looked specifically at the 1-star reviews, which this is just something that's helpful if you're looking up any type of nutritional product. Look at the people that didn't get good results. You can always find people that got great results from any nutritional product because the placebo effect is real. And if you buy a product, you might really love it and it might really help you even if it's not actually doing anything physiologic in your body. So I looked at a lot of reviews. There were a lot of different companies that had either impurities in them, they had other types of additives in them. Some of them even had like chunks of plastic that were in the creatine that they were selling. And some of them are coming from other countries like China, which brings up a whole possibility of contamination or other things. So creatine is a very cheap supplement to buy. I mean, getting a 1 kilogram thing, 2.2 pounds, is somewhere in the range of $20 to $30. So it's really worth it. Spend those extra couple dollars. The company that I ended up settling with was called NutriCost. They are based in the United States, and they had very good reviews, and I didn't really see anything negative about them. So make sure that you spend the extra couple dollars. Get a pure product. It's very simple to produce, but if they cut corners, then you can end up getting impure products, and there's no reason to do that because creatine monohydrate in itself, again, is very safe, very effective for a wide variety of the population. So I hope that has been helpful. If you have any questions, leave them below, and have a great day.